the question?
Sure. Yeah. Just tell us what this means to you guys to finally get the win, but in doing so to beat such a good offensive team and hold them down with your defense the way you guys did.
Well, it feels great to win. I mean, that's why we all do this, is for this feeling right here. And I'm just so really proud of the guys on the team. We felt like in the last couple weeks, we've played well enough for much of the game to win. We just made, too many mistakes, and we were not perfect tonight by any means, but really proud of how hard the guys played. And that's a result of practice and preparation. And we got a lot of respect for Oregon and their program and the players they have. But I think it said a lot about our guys, how they came out and competed and, kind of went through the ups and downs of that game and how it was going and continue to fight and finish it off. So it's great. And I want the guys to enjoy it. And then we'll work on getting better on Monday.
You said not perfect, but no turnovers by the offense, no big bad plays by the special teams. You must have been real pleased with that in particular.
Yeah, I mean, I think the turnovers you could probably point to, say that's the difference. I mean, the 2 fourth quarter turnovers that the defense caused, the 2 fumbles, and the offense protecting the ball like they did, and that was awesome. I thought the special teams were much improved. Punting and the return game. Unfortunately, we had a big return that we got to clean up a penalty on, so they did a much better job. And offense moved the ball. I thought it was really nice to see those drives that they put together and really controlled the pace of the game. Defensively, I think it's really other than 2 plays. I mean, we had 2 major busts, and they have some really talented player. And if you bust against a team like that, they can hurt you, which they did really on those 2 big plays. And other than that, I thought the defense did a heck of a job. And so to play through some of that adversity and continue fighting throughout the game, I think says a lot about the guys on the team. And we're looking forward to improving starting Monday.
Thank you.
Okay, move to a question from Owen Kaminsky.
Hey, Coach. The Oregon defense came into this year ranked as one of the top defenses in the nation. How did you feel about your offense's performance today?
Well, I thought they did a great job taking care of the ball. I thought they did a great job stringing drives together, running and throwing. I think we can play even better. I think they would all tell you that. But to take care of the ball like that and put those drives together, I thought, just shows, how much we've improved. And they're a talented team, as I mentioned. They got good coaches. And I think, all of the guys in there feel like we can even be better. So it's always nice to learn those lessons when you win.
Yeah. It seemed that the passing game today was a lot more successful than it had been in previous weeks. Could you talk a little bit about the development of the passing game in practice this week?
Yeah, it's something we always work on, both running and throwing the ball. Chase had some really nice throws in there. I also thought we made some really nice contested catches. And I think there's opportunities for even a few more. As I mentioned, we weren't perfect by any means. And there's going to be some reps in there that we can learn from and be even better. But really proud of how those guys competed. Chase, all the running backs that played, the receivers and the tight ends, the O-line battling in there. So it's certainly a team effort. And as I keep mentioning, we think we can be even better starting Monday. So we'll look forward to get back on the practice field after we enjoy this one for about 24 hours.
Okay, we'll move on to Rusty Simmons.
Coach, I was going to ask you about the 4th and 3 on the 35. You're down to the final, 4.5 minutes or so. Was there much deliberation to go for it there, or was that kind of obvious to you that that's what you wanted to do?
Honestly, at the start of that set of downs, on that first down, 4th and 3 was kind of the number we were thinking. I was thinking, and we happened to land on 4th and 3. And there's a couple different ways to look at it. Field goal tries, a potential punt to try and back them up. But we really felt good about the play, and we felt good about our offense and what they were doing. We knew it would be a tough play, but it was pretty clean once that 4th down came up.
And Nico made that play. Just overall this game, what did you think of the way that he played today?
Man, super competitive. He does every week, and think I've mentioned a couple of times, we keep trying to get Nico the ball. We have certain things to try and get him the ball. He's a really good player. He's a competitor, and he made some really nice, tough catches. I think that one, he had a diving one on a third down. I mean, kind of all over the place, and a couple returns that were really nice. And one, if we clean up a little bit better, he's going to have a big return on the one punt. So he did a great job, and I just love the fact that even in the last couple of weeks, he hasn't got the ball maybe as much as we would have liked to get it to him, but he keeps practicing really hard, and he shows up in how he plays. And he's a heck of a player for us and a great teammate.
And then lastly, if I can, I was going to ask you about a defensive guy, about Cam Good, who seemed to be all over the screen today. What did you think of the way he played?
Yeah, same thing. I think he just Cam seems to improve even throughout his last couple of years, and he's a good athlete. He had a really nice rush late in the fourth quarter on one, and he's a guy that can rush. He can drop into coverage. He almost had the interception in the fourth quarter. So I thought he did a heck of a job, and he doesn't get a lot of plays off. A bunch of guys on that defense are playing most the snaps, and he's one of them, and we count on him to do that, and just a competitor. And I think he might be playing his best football of his career. Not might, I think he is, and that's a great sign for a senior.
Thank you.
Okay, move on to Sam Pasco.
Hey, Coach, congrats again on the win. What are your thoughts on how Chase performed tonight? He started the game off hot, completing 8 of 10, and made his mark in the ground game. What were you seeing from him?
Yeah, he was pretty dang efficient. I think 20 of 32 is what I have in front of me. Threw some really nice balls in there, got out of trouble a couple times with his feet. Just the more and more he plays, the better he gets. I thought he played with great poise. You could tell just as the game was going, how he was running things, the sideline demeanor, the huddle. He did a really nice job of just running the game. And I think he can be even better, and I bet he'd tell you the same thing, but I thought he did a good job.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll go to Shaylin Singh from the Daily Cal.
Congrats, Coach. Rusty asked earlier about the 4th and 3, but did you, for the decision to go for it on 4th and 5 later in that drive from the 25-yard line, would you say that had more to do with how dominant the defense was playing in the second half, or was it more to do with the special team struggles from throughout the season?
No, I don't know if there's any one reason. We use a lot of supplemental information, whether it's how the offense is playing, how the defense is playing, how the special teams are playing, the analytics of it. So we take all that, and then I make a decision. And I think that one, there's arguments a couple different ways, but it didn't work out for us. And so I'm sure there'd be, arguments that we should have tried to take the points there, but we were really feeling like when we wanted to play aggressive, we felt like we had a good play, all the above, and it just didn't quite work out that way.
Thank you. And then even though there were no fans, how does it feel to get a win that will, in all likelihood, probably be the last game in Memorial Stadium this season?
It feels great. I mean, any win feels great, and they're hard to come by because the teams we play, we know they're talented and well coached. So it feels really good, and we would love to be able to share it with our fans sooner rather than later. But this is 2020 and kind of how things are going. We don't have control over that, but I can tell you the energy and excitement in the locker room was as good as it's ever been, and I'm happy and proud of the guys, and want them to enjoy that.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to Janie McCauley from AP.
Hi, Justin. What was the message at halftime? I mean, they maybe could have grabbed some momentum from taking the lead right there before halftime, and your guys came out, hold them scoreless, and it seemed like Cal was very poised in the second half. They committed. Oregon made some penalties, and just what did you like about that and the message coming out of halftime?
Yeah, I think our guys always do a good job of staying poised. We want to play with emotion and passion, but not make emotional, rash, decisions on how we play. I think if you look at the first half, we did a lot of good things. The offense did a great job moving the ball, putting it in the end zone. Couple plays that we would like to have back on offense, but I think they had confidence, and we were addressing things that we needed to do better on offense. Defensively, I think in the first half, it's really 2 plays, where we just absolutely busted the coverage. And when, we didn't cover the eligible receivers, which we've been pretty good at not doing those things. Unfortunately, they got 2 on us, which were 2 touchdowns. We felt like kind of gave them a couple of those, and we knew that they would earn some at some point, but we wanted to make them earn it. And so I thought the defense was really fine, just kind of address the issues, and then knew that they could come out and play well, and did. And so there was no panic. Wasn't overly emotional. They were excited to get back out there and compete, and so I thought they did a good job of that.
And coming off this win, how do you sort of build off this? So many things went right in all facets, all phases, and that's what you've been striving for in the recent weeks, when one phase wasn't performing, and now it was a really complete game.
Yeah, honestly, we're going to look at it just like we do every other game, and we'll look at the things we did well and build on those, and look at the things we didn't do well and correct them, and work on those things in practice, and prepare to play even better next week. And that's just, regardless of the outcome, that's how we look at it. And it's a lot more enjoyable to learn those lessons when you win. And we felt like in the last couple of weeks, we have a pretty good team. We just had too many critical errors. And it wasn't like, we had to change schemes and change players and throw everything out. That wasn't how we felt at all. It was frustrating to lose the last couple the way that we did, but the guys continue to practice really hard. They come to meetings and work at it. And so I think it speaks volumes about the guys in our locker room and the way they approach practice and meetings and all those things.
Thank you.
Now we'll hear from Trace Travers, excuse me.
Hey, Coach. One thing I wanted to ask about was, I guess, how Coyne rebounded after the end of the first half, where he gave up the big pass play down there, and then he comes back in the fourth quarter and punches the ball out twice for you guys. Did you guys tell him anything specifically, or is he just one of those guys who can rebound pretty well?
Yeah, I think we're always looking for corrections and fixing the problems on the sidelines. We try not to use a lot of emotion. When a guy makes a mistake, whether it's Coyne and there's other guys that made mistakes too. So, they don't want to make the mistake. They want to know how to fix it. So our job is to help them fix that, and then keep competing, which is exactly what he did. He came out there with great energy and intensity. He has great focus, and he's able to learn from mistakes and move on. And he made 2 huge plays at the end of the game. And he's a player that's capable of doing that, and really proud of him. And I think he's going to continue to get better and better.
Yeah, and one other thing, kind of a different note, you guys it looked like you adjusted to some of the read option game in the second half, with a guy crashing down on the running back and kind of spying the quarterback. How did you come to making that kind of change with your defense?
I thought the defensive coaches did a nice job as identifying the formations and the run schemes we were getting in the first half. A couple things that hadn't shown up on tape, and a couple formations they were getting really heavy in. So there's some things that they discussed at halftime. We got into a little bit more odd front against some of that read option game, and then there were some guys making some really good plays. We didn't invent any new calls at halftime. We don't do that. I mean, we have a menu of things to work off of, and a couple things were tweaked here and there, and I thought the coaches did an awesome job at halftime of taking the guys through it, what we were seeing, so they could go apply it in the second half. And then the players went out and competed extremely hard and punched the ball out twice in the fourth quarter, which had a huge impact on the end of the game there.
And how much did having Braxton back help you guys in that regard?
Yeah, I love having Braxton out there. He's a physical guy. He plays extremely hard. As I mentioned before, a lot of those guys are playing most every snap. And he did a great job during his time off of staying in shape and being ready to go. And I think we always want our full deck. We want the entire team as much as we can. And sometimes guys either get dinged, or in this year, there's different reasons guys get held out. But kudos to him and Coach DeRuiter, Coach Sermon for putting it together for a guy like that who hasn't had a lot of practice time recently. So, and he went out there and competed like crazy. So really proud of him.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got a couple follow-ups, and then we'll wrap it up. We'll start with Rusty Simmons.
Yeah, Coach, I was going to ask about kind of the final 2 minutes of the second quarter versus what happened in the second half. Over the years, we've seen so many teams that in that situation would crumble a little bit. What is it about you guys that when things are down, you usually find a way to respond?
I think it's, again, the players and coaches, how we approach it. It's, it'd be really easy to, and believe me, there's frustration. I mean, we all get frustrated when we make kind of some of those critical errors. And I think the guys do a great job of just compartmentalizing it and say, okay, why'd that happen? And, if it's something that we can't do or can't explain, or that the player's not capable of, playing, then that'd be a problem. But when we can identify it and say, well, here's how you fix it so it doesn't happen again, then I think they feel really confident that they can go out there and play it better next time. And we would love for that never to happen, but that's kind of part of coaching and football. That I've never been a part of a game that's gone perfectly, but I think they do a great job, coaches and players, of identifying what the issue is. Here's how you fix it, and let's move on and keep competing. And it's really as simple as that.
Thank you.
I'll go to Jeff Ferrata. Jeff?
Players who barely came off the field on defense, and it looks like Brett Johnson was one of those guys. I wonder if you could just talk about what he gave you and what he continues to do for you guys.
Yeah, I would imagine, Brett and Zionde and JH, Cam Good, Brax, like those guys play a lot. Coin. So a lot of guys that are playing a lot of snaps. But Brett's a dang good player, and he's getting better. He's a really hard guy to block one-on-one. I think he's doing a good job in the run game. He's showing up even more and more in the pass game. And I think he's got a really, really bright future, plays hard, and he's got really good tools and a smart guy. So really excited about his development. And Andrew Browning's done a great job of developing him.
And no one has mentioned this so far, but by winning today, you guys remain in the hunt to get a bowl bid. You can still finish 500 with 2 more games. Is that something that was ever talked about before the game or after the game? And how do you feel about your chances now?
We talk about what we need to do in order to play as good as we can play in the next game. That's really where our focus is. And we want to play as many as we possibly can. But in order to do that, we got to have great practice, meetings, and then go out and play really well in the games. And to look down the road, everybody wants to play a lot. I think we talk about that at the very beginning, but we don't spend a lot of time on what ifs and different scenarios. We just really are focused on now, enjoy this game for 24 hours, rest up, and then let's have a great Monday practice.
But it's a good thing that it's still available to you now?
Yeah, it's a good thing. Anytime we, have some success and then are able to parlay that into more opportunities to play, that's a good thing, yeah.
Okay, we've got time for one last question from Jake Curtis.
Yeah, you touched on this before, Justin, but could you just sort of elaborate how important it was to have most of your key players available for really the first time this year?
Yeah, I think everybody would say that, and we would be no different. We would like to have our entire team available in every game. It doesn't always work that way, especially in 2020. But anytime we have our entire team out there at practice or out there in the game, we feel that gives us a better opportunity to win. And ultimately, some of those things are just out of our control. And we also know that injuries are a part of football. And that's why, we have more than just 22 players. So I'm really proud of the guys that have been out, who worked to get back and played on, kind of only a few practices. And then the guys that are battling and getting a lot better, who have stepped up with some of those guys gone. And that's what being a part of a team is all about.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.